which kind of activity he can do. He can even gain the rootkit access, the access of the root. Hence, he can execute any command and do any kind of activities and any kind of information stealing or other kind of malicious activities that you can imagine. The other types of Trojan are defacement Trojan. Normally, maybe you had in some cases some kind of this Trojan, defacement Trojan. Normally, in this case, attacker can view, edit, or even extract information from any Windows program in your machine. Using this kind of Trojan, the attacker can replace the string or image in your Windows. For instance, texting some string and text in your Windows or on your website. We call this case as website defacement. Website defacement is most popularly known, and it is the same concept on applications running on the target machine. Sometimes defacement Trojans replace some information even in a server machine and causes some damage to the service that this server is doing for some users. Another kind of Trojans are HTTP or HTTPS Trojans. You know that these two types of communication protocols over the internet, and you hear about that. You know, this kind of Trojan try to bypass the firewall inspection and execute on the target machine using HTTP or even HTTPS channel. You know, after installing this kind of Trojan, they try to create an HTTP tunneling to be able to communicate with the attacker from the victim machine. You know, because if consider that it's the victim's machine, for instance, Alice's machine, and here is the attacker, show it as A. And the attacker needs to communicate with the Alice machine. But there are some antiviruses here, or even some other security services. When the attacker tries to communicate with the Alice, it may be alerted by the antivirus in Alice machines. Hence, the attacker tries to use another way. Even though you imagine that he installed a Trojan in Ali's machine. This Trojan, which is a kind of code, this Trojan tries to initiate a normal communication to the attacker machine through HTTP or HTTPS. In this way, the antivirus here, or I don't know, firewall cannot detect that it is not a normal communication. Hence, at the response to this connection, the attacker can communicate with the target machine and send some malicious code or steal some information. Okay, hence HTTP Trojan try to use and create a tunnel to hide themselves, to be able to communicate with the attacker from victim's machine. Another kind of Trojans are Botnet Trojans. You know that we explained that a botnet is a large scale of compromised machines that are infected by some malicious codes. Those compromised systems and machines are not limited to specific land. They can be spread over the large geographical area. Okay? As we described in our last lecture, these botnets need to communicate with the attacker. To hide the attacker identification information, the attacker uses a server as command and control center or command and control server, as we described in the last lecture. Command and control server. Using this server, as we described, consider that there are a large number of compromised machines here as a botnet. To do some malicious activities, these compromised systems here in the botnet needs to communicate with the attacker here. But the attacker tries to hide himself. Hence, he communicates and sends some commands to the command and control server, and then this server sends those commands to any system and compromised machine in botnet. This kind of Trojan normally are used to launch a denial of service attack or a DDoS attack, as we described in our previous lecture. Let me know if you have any question till now. Okay, you are saying that your uh, classmates and other students in this group are offline because of working, yes? Okay, I see. Mm, mm. But you know, this I understand the problem, but this is because of some delay in our local time. Actually, here it's 50 here in local time. And I guess what time is it in Iraq, in Baghdad? What time is it? I guess it is 1:30. Mm. Okay, I see. Mm. And still it's working time. Mm. Okay. You know, after this course, I have another lecture, and I need to finish this lecture and start the other lecture for the next group. Hence, I cannot change the time of our lecture, but I record the lecture for some persons that who cannot participate, who are not here online. We cannot change time of our lecture. Unfortunately, we cannot change it uh, because I have another lecture and I know that it's working hour, and in Baghdad I know that it is working time, yes. Mhm. I understand. Uh, I record our, our lecture. For other students who are not online, okay? This is the only solution that we can find. Okay, great. Let me know if you have any question till now. If not, we continue our discussion. Another types of Trojans are proxy server Trojans. As you can see in the figure, let me see if I can, yes. This kind of Trojan tries to use the victim machine as a proxy server. Proxy server Trojan allows the attacker to use this computer as a proxy by enabling the proxy server on victims' machine systems. And in this way, using this technique, the attacker can launch further attacks by hiding the actual source of the attack. What does it mean? It means that instead of attacking directly the target source, the target machine, the attacker tries to use a victim machine as a proxy server. Using this proxy server, the attacker then launches his attack. In this way, the target machine seems to find the attacker and he sees this machine as the attacker and cannot find an access to the real attacker. In this way, the real attacker hides his information, for example, his IP address or other information. This is a very well-known and common purpose of Trojan to attack some target machine, especially between two countries. That are some problem between them. Anyway, another kind or the last category of Trojans are rats or remote access Trojan. You know that if the attacker can gain the access to the victim machine and enabling some ports to communicate with the attacker machine, he can successfully do any malicious activities. In this way, using this kind of Trojans, the attacker tries to create a backdoor in the victim machine. And through this backdoor, the attacker tries to access and control over the victim machine. You can imagine how it could be dangerous. Using rat Trojan, the attacker can monitor users' activity and even access his or her confidential and sensitive information, and maybe take some screenshots and record some video, or even using his webcam, and in some cases format drivers or even alter some files and etc. You can imagine that using this kind of Trojan, the attacker can access the root permission. Root permission, which means that he can do anything in the target machine. And imagine, for example, in the server of your organization, how it can be dangerous. Using root control in a server means doing anything. Okay. There are different and many kind of strange events on your system that indicates a Trojan attack on your machine. For example, your DVD-ROM driver opens and closes by itself. Or for example, your browser redirected to unknown page. For instance, you open the LMS platform to enter your lecture, but at the same time you can see many other windows that are opened without your information. And there are also many strange activities and some kind of activities that can indicate that your system has been infected. For example, your mouse pointer disappear or move by itself. Or for example, your printer prints some papers without your asking your permission. Or even after printing, you can see that at the end of your paper there are some text that in fact they are not. Or changing your background pictures or your wallpaper or something like that. You can see here in this slide some kind of activities that indicates the Trojan infection in your system. You can read some of them. Let me know if you have any question till now. Okay. Just a few seconds because I have a problem with my recording application. Let me see. What's the matter?